back in April, our son's in bleeding nose. And he didn't say much because he thought that it was something very simple.
Javier.
I was taking a photography class. I was working in the darkroom. I was working with a lot of chemicals, so I thought maybe one of the fumes I've been breathing in caused some sort of nosebleed.
This is the one before surgery. This is the tumor here.
The tumor originated inside my sinus cavity, and then it actually started growing inwards towards my brain.
And this is the tumor. And then as you come up more in the nasopharynx, this is the part that...
The pathology returned as a juvenile nasopharyngeal angiofibroma, which is a tumor that occurs typically in young men. It is on the rare side of tumors, but it is a common tumor that we see at Hopkins. This tumor was unique insofar as it involved a significant portion of the skull base.
The tumor was very ugly. The tumor was entrenched inside my nasal cavity and my brain, and it eroded a lot of the bone. It was actually surrounding a optic nerve.
Tumors such as Javier's, when they involve the skull base, are typically done through a transfacial or an open approach, which is done through the face. Over the past several years, we've been developing endonasal, minimally invasive approaches to skull-based tumors. I've studied Javier's high-resolution imaging studies in detail and felt that this case was most appropriate for an endonasal approach, removing the tumor through his nose, as opposed to a transfacial resection working through an open incision in his face.
This approach is pretty new, and he was telling me that he recommends it because there's not a lot of long-term side effects.
There's no incision in the face or in the mouth, and the recovery is significantly less with an endonasal approach as opposed to an open approach.
Oh, Grandma. My recovery was very speedy. After I got out of surgery, I was for a whole day in the critical care unit, and by the end of the night, I was walking.
The surgery that they did was unbelievable. They removed the tumor through the nose without leaving him any scars. But the best part is not leaving the scars in our heart, that we've been treating as a human beings with the warm touch, the professionalism, and we thank Hopkins very much.
Javier's prognosis is excellent. He had a complete resection at surgery and he had no perioperative complications whatsoever. I think medicine, particularly neurosurgery, is different than it was 50 years ago. Patients are very knowledgeable today, and I think it's very important that it's part of our job to actually explain in a way that's understandable disease processes, treatment options, and the risks and benefits that go along with that, and sort of help the patient through that process so that at the end of the day, we're both very happy with the decision we make.
When the doctors came out of the operating room, and I look at their faces, it was the feeling that my son was back again, and it was a much relief. Yeah, but I look like an actress.
They are real.